Welcome back, folks, to more Serpent. Alright.
Yes, my lord. Greetings, fellow pikemen. Coming out of them strange storms and rest a bit. This be the end of the sleeping bull, and I be Argus, the innkeeper.
Tell me of the storms.
These ain't natural storms, or I was never a wolf captain. If thou were to ask me, living all these years across from Moonshade, I'd say they were magic born. And I'm afraid they'll drive us out of business.
Someone misspelt afraid, obviously.
If they last too long.
Because that's just fucking terrible.
A few people care to stray too far from shelter these days. Even Hawk put in here and refused to budge because of the storms. Those passengers are less than thrilled with his decision, and all our help ran off with the cities, hoping that it would be safer around all those buildings.
Passengers?
Hawk had 2 passengers staying here until he puts out again, if he ever pays the pikemen, that is. One of them is the fellow with the parrot. Kane, I think his name is. The other's an arrogant fellow named Flindo. He is a merchant. I was glad to have them, being as we were the only 4 the guest. Yes, there was Insorcio. He's an exiled mage from Moonshade. There be Selina, who hath not been here very long. She's afraid of these storms. Byron's been here with a blessing. 'Tis good to have a gleeman to pass the weary hours between storms. And then there be that new fellow, Miggum. I don't know too much about him. He hath only been here a few days, and is rarely out of his room.
Tell me of Moonshade.
I've never been there myself, but being overly fond of wizards and their feuds. But if thou desirest spells or items of enchantment, that is the place to go. If thou art looking to go to the city of mages, thou would need a boat.
Boat?
The magic storms have wrecked every boat on this coast except one. The vessel belongs to Captain Hawk. 'Tis no use to think of firing him. He was in a fracas here, broke things up a bit. The pikemen dragged Hawk away when he took a swing at their commander. He's being held at the Bull Tower.
No, he's not, actually. I freed his ass because I'm a bad motherfucker.
Art thou speaking to me? Well, if it isn't another petty tyrant, thou mayest well leave now, pikeman. I have no use for the likes of thee, and thou canst do nothing to avenge the wrongs I have suffered. So leave, before I grow tired of thee, and thou dost feel the wrath of Insorcio the Adept.
I've talked to Deborah.
Deborah's a fine woman for all that. She's a bit domineering. But then, most women are they not? She hath taken her loss incredibly well. She hath convinced that worthless son of hers to return and help with some honest work here at the end. But if thou dost ask me, I will say that she is too kind to rogues and misfits. Quite pathetic, actually. When I reported the theft to her, that her morning was too distraught to even pay attention to my complaint. Not at all professional. After all, I am a paying guest here. It seems Angus was had a bit of silver paint in him after all, and disappeared to think of it. Perhaps he was the one that stole the jawbone from me, though why it would interest him I shall never know. 'Twas a large serpent jawbone that my mentor received from his mentor, the mad mage. I could never discover what its use was, though it was clearly magical. 'Twas a keepsake, though I had hoped to discover its secret some day. I think that Batlin found its secret and created these damn storms.
Tell me of the mad mage.
His true name is Erstam. He taught many of the Moonshadian adepts their craft, but, as is the way of the master and apprentice, they eventually surpassed him in skill and scope. The old mage could not abide the thought that the mages were no longer his malleable students, and went quite mad. He saw all of them as thieves intent on stealing his secrets, and moved to an island off Moonshade. He doth refuse to have any dealings with Moonshade to this day. He sits on his island trying to find a way to create life.
Why do you call me tyrant?
Yes, tyrant, and I shall say it in front of August too, for all that matters. You pikemen wear your bravery marked on your faces for all to see, and expect the world to tremble at your feet. Thou demandest tribute like a king, but all are worthy of his contempt.
Thou dost not speak to an ordinary pikeman. This is the Avatar.
Thou mayest not judge the Avatar by this mark alone. Do not let him say such things about the Avatar. I see thee draw thyself up. Have I offended thee? And what would you do, pikemen? Drag me to the jail as the comrades did Hawk?
I saved Hawk.
I'm afraid the Flindo was a bit distressed to hear that the good captain had no intention of risking himself or his ship to take that upstanding merchant back to Moonshade in these damnable storms, so he bought the muscle of the pikemen to persuade Hawk that the remaining here would be unhealthy.
Tell me of Flindo.
Flindo would have it as he is a person of note from the far city of Moonshade, known by one and all. but he is truly little more than a loud shopkeeper with a penchant for gossip. Flindo flits about here and there acquiring merchandise from Busia to sell, and as much information as he can. I think that alone is why the adepts humor him from time to time with some tidbit of news. Busia? Busia runs Flindo's shop for him. 'Tis called the Capesi Canton. A pompous name, if thou dost ask me. Busia charges a fillip more on everything she sells for her troubles, and she's very careful to show Flindo the altered accounts. Donation? Tribute? Where is the honor in charging even the poorest peasant a strenuous fee to use only the safe road in all the islands? So much for protecting the weak and helping the poor. Alright, this guy's pissing me off.
I am Wilfred, Knight of the Bear Command, formerly of Sleeping Bull End. I don't want to talk to you, Wilfred. You're kind of gay. Well, there's Captain Hawk's ship. Now we just need to find Captain Hawk. I figured he'd be running to the inn for a drink. A pleasure to see thee again, Ron Stuck. Alright, we'll go. It's a clusterfuck of pikemen. Looks like the captain got stuck down there in the dungeon. There he is. I thank you for releasing me from this cell. I've never expected to end up in jail over not wanting to sail in these blasted storms. If there's anything that I can do for you, you should tell me. Captain Hawk is a man of his word. I need to go on a journey. I can take you to Moonshade, lad. Wait for me outside the Arabella and we'll try to outrace these blasted storms. What? We should find a seat. I'd advise you to hold fast and keep a weather eye on that here horizon. We'll be running afore the wind hard enough to splinter the mast as it is. Reef the sails and hang on. There'll be one of the damn storms will bear down on us. Heaven help us. Oh, shit. Ouch. I just took a lightning bolt to the penis tip. Shocking my shoes. Oh, this isn't good. Fuck me ship! The lightning hit me bag of bottle rockets. Here ye be, lad. I never thought we'd make it, but Moonshade lies. Oh, I'll not even attempt to make the Arabella seaworthy until these blasted storms over. If ye be wanting Captain Hawk, I'll be at the bottom of a mug at the Blue Boar Inn. Alright, so we won't be returning to the mainland anytime soon. We'll save under my backup file.
Returned again? I understand now why Hawk did not wish to sail the open seas. I do not know how thou wilt leave the island unless the tales are true. I hope thou dost like our fine city of Moonshade. If thou would like to know about any place within the city, come to me. You have connections here? Although I am not a mage, I am an influential man in Moonshade because my shop provides the staples of life to the secluded island. Why, I even know the Mage Lord's mistress. In fact, this is why I shall do for thee. Since thou didst make it possible for Hawk to sail us here, I shall repay thee. I shall arrange for thee to meet with the Mage Lord himself. This is quite an honor, Ronstock. This will take time, but I can arrange this, and thou mayest find some of the mages are very reclusive and will not speak to thee without proper introduction.
Tell me of Moonshade.
Moonshade, the city of mages, a place where anything thou mayst desire can be thine, if thou dost have enough guilders, and thou can find a mage with enough skill.
Guilders?
Guilders are the coins of Moonshade, my lord. None of the artisans or shopkeepers will deal with thee if thou dost not have guilders. Thou can exchange thy with coins for busia at my shop.
Tell me the mischief.
Oh, yes, Phil Bercio is quite a ladies' man, and what woman would not jump at the opportunity to win the Mage Lord's favor? For now, Frigadazi holds the Mage Lord's eye, and from what I have seen, Phil Bercio seems to have found a way to thaw the charms of that cold bitch. Though I have heard that Frigadazi is not always so cool, and I have been told that Filbercio hath not been faithful, shall we say.
Frigadazi? What kind of name is that?
Specializes in cold-related spells. She is a great beauty, but she is rather cold to everyone. Perhaps I should not say this, but I think Frigadazi is using Filbercio to gain status within the ranks of the adepts. There are many places that thou wilt want to visit while thou art here. Thou mayest find the lodgings at the Blue Boar. Thou should see the winery, and there is the Artist Bazaar.
The Blue Boar?
The Blue Boar is a tavern here. It provides food and lodging at a reasonable rate for Moonshade. Thou wilt find some of the less reclusive mages there. Be careful not to offend any of them, for they call thee out to a magical duel.
What of this bazaar?
'Tis where the many artisans can be found. My shop, the Capacity Canton, is located near the Blue Boar Inn. Be sure to stop by and say hello to Busia, who runs the shop for me. Sometimes I cannot understand why I keep her. Each time I enter the shop there is babbling with someone. It makes me wonder if she doth any work at all, and sometimes I wonder at her sanity too. She hath developed some far-fetched notions, certes. Why she would have a poor young Porthos connected in some way to the Mad Mage. Canst thou imagine?
Tell me of the winery.
The Rangers have a magic wine press. It works without need of human assistance. I'm sure thou will find that interesting. Filbercio hath been trying to coerce Columna into a dalliance for some time, but she will have nothing to do with him. As Filbercio does not like to take being rebuffed lightly, he hired Stefano to steal something to Columna's form, Toricio, to use as a blackmail, so the Mage Lord may prevail in this intended infidelity, if Frigadazi doth not discover him. Of course, this is not the Mage Lord's only indiscretion, as I have this story from Julia, who found out about Filbercio during a night of stolen passion.
Tell me of Columna.
There's not much to say about Columna. She is one of the Moonshade's most reclusive mages. I think that's what makes her so attractive to Filbercio. She seems unattainable. Why she insists on dallying with that scum Toricio, I will never know. She would do better with the Mage Lord. Anyway, thou look at it.
Tell me of Stefano.
Stefano is a thief with some skill, with a bit of magical ability. He tends to live from one disaster to another, though he would like to see himself as a great lord somewhere someday. Stefano would do better practicing his magic, but he would rather be a skilled thief than a novice mage.
What have you heard? I have heard that Frigidazzi can be quite warm to those who catch her fancy, and I am told that she can be very persistent about getting what she wants, although I think it would be foolish to catch her eye as long as Filbercio doth have interest in her, if thou knowest what I mean. And what's this about Tauricio? I hate to even utter his name. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Tauricio specializes in creating the magical automatons that most mages prefer as their servants. I will grant that he is skilled enough, but he doth have the ethics of a snake. 'Tis a good thing Petra escaped from the sickening clutches that has Rocco to protect her. Jesus Christ, you talk too fucking much. Alright, here we are last at Moonshade. Yeah, you want to get some? Got some evil-ass bears in the field here. Climb over the city walls. That's how I roll. Alright, first person we want to find is Fetabilbillo. Greetings, my lord. Hello, I am Andrio. I've never met outsiders. Could thou tell me about thy travels and adventures? No. I'm here to speak with a mage. Thou must be a seeker after knowledge. I am Mage Fetabilbillo, and I serve as Magister of Moonshade. I need a spellbook. Bring me 3 fresh mandrake roots, and I shall let thee have a spellbook. The roots are found on Monk Isle. Thou didst not understand me? The roots must be fresh, taken from the swamp precisely as the tides are receding. These roots are stale and unsuitable for progress. Return to Monk Isle, and return with fresh roots of mandrake. Return! I could use a little food. Well, guess what? Chamino happens to have a shit ton of food. Ah! Fucking fool. Meow. All kinds of mages here. Eventually we'll talk to all of them. Right now I'm being picky and choosy. Pardon, my lord. I bring thee greetings from my mistress, the sorceress Rotoluncia. The scroll from her. Rotoluncia? My mistress commands many powerful and strange magics, and sits upon the council of mages. She is terrible to her enemies, but tolerant of those who aid her. 'Tis not an ordinary scroll, but one of the magical variety. I assure thee that is entirely free of harmful magic. The mages of Moonshade are quite powerful, and have found the way to acquire servants such as myself. My mistress says that automatons are more trustworthy, since we can neither be corrupted nor tortured. Do not forget the scroll.
The scroll talks. Greetings, stranger from another land. I am speaking to thee by means of this magic scroll. There is no need to be afraid.
Afraid? Why, the Avatar is not afraid of magic.
But all barbarians fear sorcery. Be quiet, Shemino. That witch can hear thee through that scroll. Who said that? Death draws near for those who taunt Rotoluncia, the Red Witch.
I'm not afraid, bitch.
Thou dost surprise me. Most mundanes are frightened by the very idea of sorcery. Indeed, thou art from a distant land, and thou dost not know such common term. The world is divided into two sorts of men, those who can handle magics and mere ordinary folk. Common folk such as thee and thy companions are known as mundane. I am the most powerful wizard in this city, and I could teach thee many things if they were not a mere mundane.
But the Avatar is not a mundane.
What is that they say?
Thou dost speak overly much, Dupree.
Thou art not a mage, or I would have detected thy powers by now. Or perhaps thou dost shield thine abilities from my senses. Most interesting. So my servant told thee that I sit on the council of mages? Perhaps I shall dismantle him to adjust a loose tongue. Indeed, I am one of the three who rule this city, along with Gustasio, the decrepit, and the weak-willed profligate Filbercio. Not so fast. Thou should know that I met with thine ally, the fat and loathsome sage called Batlin. He travelled with a daemon named Palos. Where did Batlin obtain such power? If I had his power, I could rule Serpent Isle. Reveal to me the secret controlling daemon folk, and I shall reward thee with the power beyond comprehension.
How about I reveal to you my cock?
I shall contact thee again when perhaps thou should be more receptive to mine offer. Adieu.
I don't know how to control him anyways. Alright. Let's do some scavenging and searching around town. Serpent tooth. We'll leave that here for now.
Rotoluncia, I saw thee staring at that pig Torcicero on the bacon last night, and I know now that thine affections shown toward me were false. Thou art a cow and a shabby sorceress as well. Do not pretend otherwise, for I know the truth now, bitch. I want nothing more from thee ever again. My darling Rotolucia, I know the feelings about my letters, but I cannot help myself. I think of thee day and night. Thou art the light of my miserable existence. Thou art like the sun, blinding all that doth gaze upon thy beauty. Thy lips are more luscious than the sweetest fruit, thy skin smoother than the most glorious rose. Thou art the essence of womanhood. None can surpass thee. Please, I beg of thee, say thou wilt be mine. Anxiously waiting thy reply, Filbercio.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and gank her spells. And she's got a Naga Medusa up in her. Kill that shit. Fuck your Medusa. Mom is too heavy. Don't want to waste all our magic bolts. We'll equip some normal ones for now. We're going to search around town, talk to some people, familiarize ourselves with the town. Look at all the pretty graphics. Can't pick that lock. All right. That's actually Frigadazzi's manor, and our magical helm is in there, but we can't get in there quite yet.
So, what are you looking at, eh? What's it to you? Some call me the Rat Woman, but I'll have you know that my rightful name is Mosh.
Rat woman?
Speak not at me. I have the company of more guests in mine house than you could have in thine. Was a powerful enchantress in my prime, before I was cheated of my powers.
Cheated.
I will not speak of that now, but suffice to say that she who looks like me deep inside hath taken from me all that should be mine.
Tell me, Mosh.
Aye, Mosh. Would that were to believe me, I could tell thee a story, 'tis done not forgotten. I will not talk of it now. The rats are my friends. Dost thou now like my companions? Then I do not like thee. Away from me.
Oh, I like your fucking rats.
Good. Then with time, perhaps we can learn to like thee. My spells are not for sale, not to the likes of these. But assume that all my powers have left me, for some still remain. I have no need for others, when I can create my own friends. See for thyself.
Alright, you can summon rats. Good job.
I was once a beautiful young woman, but another stole Trilucia's heart from me, and I shall never forgive her for that. Where hath he gone? Bah! I know not, nor for that matter do I care.
Ah, but I can see that thou dost still care, madam.
Rubbish! 'Tis long gone, and I am an old woman now. Thou shouldst speak to she who hath done me wrong, the sorceress Columna, whom they sometimes call the Green Sorceress. Listen to what she says. The rumors say that her name stems from her attire, but I know the truth. It's the very envy she doth have for me that has spawned her title. 'Tis not a bad place to live.
The sewers are not bad. Art thou deaf?
Scowl not at Mosh. Thou knowest nothing of what thou sayest. Each one of us makes of life of what we can, whether by fate or treachery. Dost thou see me judging ye? I will not speak of that now, but suffice to say, she who looks blah 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 blah.
Alright, so bitch can create rats. Big deal. I can create a magic spell called I Take Your Shit. Pardon me, do you have any grey poop on?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Topo the Artisan, apprentice to Master Ducio. Someday I hope to be as rich and lazy as my master. He spends all his time asleep, or at the inn, except when he comes here to make me crazy with his nagging. Thou wish to sell me gems, but of course I will buy all that thou have. Master Ducio has a constant need for gems in the most important works. I will buy gems for 100 guilders each.
We need some guilders.
Here, take thy guilders.
Alright, folks. What else this guy got? Cloak, sword, a bunch of bullshit. We'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching Serpent Isle!